In every shadow, a story waits. At the heart of a forgotten flea market, amidst the silent ticking of 100 clocks, Ethan found something that didn't belong. It was a pocket watch, humming with a soft, golden light, its hands spinning backward, defying the very essence of time. As his fingers brushed against the cool metal, the world fell silent. The dust motes froze in the air, the distant city hum vanished, and a single, echoing tick pulsed through him before the familiar scent of coffee filled the air. The morning light streamed through his window, but something was profoundly wrong. The clock on his wall read 7 a.m., 3 hours earlier than when he'd left. Outside, a car drifted backward into its parking spot. A half-eaten apple on his counter became whole again. He glanced at the pocket watch in his hand, its gentle glow a silent confirmation. He was back. Time had bent to his will. The power was intoxicating. A shattered coffee mug reassembled itself. Midair, a missed bus reappeared at the corner just as he arrived. A harsh argument with a friend softened, the angry words retracting into unspoken thoughts. Each rewind was a small victory, a chance to get things right. He became the architect of his own flawless reality, meticulously crafting each day. But every gift has its price. With each perfect moment he created, a crack appeared in the world he knew. It started small. A photograph on his mantelpiece, a picture of his family, now had a faded figure in the corner, almost a ghost. A favorite book vanished from his shelf, leaving an empty space that screamed of absence. The city lights outside his windows seemed to dim a little more each night, the vibrant colors of his world slowly desaturating, bleeding into shades of gray. The watch wasn't just turning back time, it was unraveling the very fabric of his existence, one thread at a time. The ticking, once a promise of control, now sounded like a countdown. The joy of perfection was replaced by a creeping dread. He started noticing the voids more than the victories. Faces on the street became blurry. The laughter of children in the park sounded distant, like a memory from a dream. He tried to stop, to let the imperfections of life return, but the temptation was always there, a whisper in the back of his mind. One more fix, just one more rewind, to make things right again. He became a ghost in his own life, a silent observer of a world he was no longer truly a part of. The people he loved, the faces he cherished, their eyes would pass over him as if he were made of glass. He clutched the watch, its glow now weak, its ticking faint and erratic. He remembered their smiles, their warmth, the feeling of a hand in his. He had traded it all for a hollow, perfect world. He had to go back, not just a few hours, but all the way. Back to before the market, before the ticking, before the terrible, beautiful mistake. He had to undo the undoing. He looked around his apartment, now a sterile, colorless box, a museum of a life once lived. This wasn't living. This was an echo. With a final, desperate act, he gripped the dial. The watch flared with a blinding, consuming light, the ticking accelerating into a deafening roar, then slowing, each tick an eternity, until it stopped. The world around him dissolved. Buildings deconstructed themselves, streets rolled back into empty fields. The sun and moon spun across the sky in a dizzying dance. Everything rewound, faster and faster, until all color, all light, all sound was stripped away, leaving only a silent, gray emptiness. Ethan stood alone in the heart of a city that wasn't there. The streets were empty, the buildings mere outlines against a pale, featureless sky. A cried out, but his voice made no sound. He was the only thing left, a solitary figure in a world erased. He had rewound time so far that he had unwritten himself from its pages. No one was coming for him. No one remembered him. He looked down at the pocket watch in his hand. Its face was dark, its hands frozen together at the stroke of 0. The price for ultimate control was ultimate solitude, and in the silence of his perfect, empty world, he was finally and completely alone.